Let's make flan de coco, coconut flan. The first thing you want to do is start to make your caramel. So take a saucepan and put it on your stove and add 1 cup of sugar. You can add a little bit more. I think I ended up adding just a tiny bit of sugar added to the 1 cup, but then all you're going to do is turn it on to low heat, especially if you have a gas stove, and keep an eye on it. I personally don't add water, but I know some people do. Make sure that you have your flanera handy on the side because you will be transferring this once it's done. Don't touch your caramel until you start to see it form and melt around the edges. Then you can go ahead and start mixing it and moving it around to make sure that all your sugar is melting. Like I said, guys, please keep an eye on this because if you do end up burning your caramel, you're gonna have to throw it away and start all over because it will ruin your flan. Once you get this beautiful amber color, just move it around until all of your sugar is done dissolving and then carefully transfer it into your mold. I like using a spatula for this because you get every last drop of the caramel into your mold. Please be careful when you're working with this, guys. This is like lava. Then very carefully with some oven mitts, hopefully yours aren't ripped like mine, move the caramel around your mold and try to get it as close to the edge as possible. Please be careful. Once you're done, go ahead and set it down and let it cool for at least 10 minutes or until the caramel is hard. I like to use the blender because I personally feel that it makes a smoother, creamier texture, but if you want to do this by hand, you can 100% do it. I started by adding 4 large eggs, 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, a can of coconut milk. It's in that container because I used a tablespoon for a cocktail that I made earlier. And then you're also going to add 1 whole can of sweetened condensed milk. Make sure that you scrape out every last drop. Then I added a pinch of salt, about a teaspoon of vanilla. And this is my secret. I add this to every single one of my flans. Take a little sliver of cream cheese. Trust me on this one. And then go ahead and blend. I usually start on medium and then I turn it up to high. Blend for about 30 seconds until everything is nice, smooth, and combined. Once your caramel has cooled, go ahead and transfer your flan mixture into the mold. You will hear some cracking and that is perfectly normal. Be careful not to overfill your flanera. Make sure that when you put the top on, you don't have any of the mixture touching your lid. Since I'll be making mine in the pressure cooker, I always like to put a layer of tin foil over the top and then I put the flanera lid over the top. This just prevents any water from getting into your flan. Trust me, you do not want water in your flan. It'll be ruined. Then I go ahead and close the flanera. I secure the top and then now it's ready for the pressure cooker. I'm going to be using my Ninja Foodie. You guys know I love it. And I add water up to about there. So I don't really have a measurement for this. What I do is I just put the flanera inside of my pressure cooker and then I just add water little by little on the sides of my mold until it's about to that measurement where I showed you. I think I did about 4 of these little cups. Next, I put my pressure lid on and I set it to cook for high pressure for 42 minutes. I know, it's a strange number, but trust me, it works. Once the 42 minutes are up, don't touch it, don't release the pressure, let the pressure release on its own. For me, that took an extra 30 minutes. So 42 minutes cooking time and then 30 minutes until all of the pressure released on its own. Once you see the safety valve go down, see, for me it was 30 minutes, that is when you can open up your pot and take your flan out. Please be careful, it is piping hot. You want to remove your flan carefully and then refrigerate it overnight. I did go back in after about an hour and I removed the tin foil and then I just set it back into the fridge until the next morning. Here's me taking it out the next morning and I'm now going to take it out and put it onto a plate. I did not need to run a knife around the edges. As you can see, it was jiggly and it was free on its own. So all I did was take a plate, put it over the top of my mold and do a 1, 2, hop. and I flipped it, and you're gonna see it came out absolutely perfect. I did go back in and scrape out any remaining caramel that was left in the bottom of my mold, and I just let it fall all over my flan because you want every last drop of that caramel. I will say that next time I make this, I'm going to try to add cream of coconut for an even stronger coconut flavor. But yeah guys, this is how it turned out. I did go ahead and add some sweetened coconut flakes over the top, and I'll show you what it looks like when I sliced into it in part 2 of this video. I hope you make it guys. Let me know if you do.